Good morning, people of Gaia, spelled with an E. Work on the next Ending Explained deep dive is now sprinting in earnest. The next one is the big one, the critical moment. What actually happened at the altar in the City of the Ancients? And just as importantly, why did it happen this way? Explanation for such phantasmagorical phenomena would need to be extraordinary, and it is. Something very different is unfolding in the currents beneath the waves of familiarity. As a result though, until that deep dive is out, these weekly videos will be on the shorter and less edited side, whenever possible. I was asked to cover some of the statements put out by the geniuses recently in various interviews. For the most part, there's nothing I could say that has not already been said by many other content creators and theorists, except for one. There's something I've noticed no one else mentioned, and it is vitally important, not just to Final Fantasy, but to all humans on Earth. We will get to that. Before we dive into the deep end though, beginning with something a little bit lighter. This statement by Hamaguchi-san, or whatever he said originally in Japanese, and this is the translation, is proof of his absolute brilliance. Because all he's saying here is that there could be change. This should be a banal platitude, something that is so obvious, why say it? Of course there could be change. And further, what is being said between the lines, that there will be change, is again obvious. How could there not be change? In Remake, Cloud goes to the top plate on a date. That did not happen in Final Fantasy VII in the Midgar section. And in Rebirth, Tifa is swallowed by a weapon, and then she nearly kisses Cloud. Neither of those things happened at any point in Final Fantasy VII. There was no war between Wutai and Shinra in Final Fantasy VII. Change, including very meaningful change, is unavoidable in Part 3. But Hamaguchi-san, he knows that what's really being asked by all imagination adventurers is, will there be fundamental or diametric change? Will the ending be altered? Can destiny be changed? And he pressed that button, and the volcanoes of emotion went off. Okay, now we get into the heavier stuff. Rebirth director Hamaguchi-san says that the team are not giving us the Queen's Blood DLC. I'm putting words in his mouth. And are full steam ahead on Part 3, Journey's End. That sucks. I was really looking forward to Queen's Blood DLC. I am enraptured by that experience. However, what he's saying is uniform with the previous statements by the devs dating back to April of this year. This is where it gets real. As a deep learning engineer, someone who works with AI, I can offer that an additional motivation that all people of Japan are aware of is the imminent realization of AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. If you don't know what I'm talking about, or if you have not built an emotional universe around what I'm talking about, I very highly recommend typing in the keywords AI news into YouTube and begin watching what people are saying. This is bigger than the industrial and internet revolutions combined, and it will happen much faster than either of them. As so many of the pundits have been saying, this is the first revolution that can improve itself. And AGI is believed to be upon us most likely sometime in the next 3 years. Some individuals, for instance Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, those are the guys that make ChatGPT, he says AGI next year. But either way, with mass market adoption in the 12 to 18 months to follow, because the infrastructure for AI is already there. The only reason it's going to take that long is safety. After that demarcation of mass market adopted technological revolution, you will be able to talk to Darth Vader, not a 3D avatar with a chatbot inside that you clearly know is a chatbot. You will be talking to something of sufficient complexity that even your subconscious mind will believe this is sentient, and this sentience is Darth Vader, amongst many other things that are currently not feasible or impossible. And AGI runs in the cloud, not a $10,000 machine, so this will not be for niche ultra nerds and the ultra wealthy, but the mass market. The genius mastermind at Square Enix, they know this, and they know that Part 3 needs to be out before that demarcation, as does every other current AA and AAA title. The only alternative for any title is to wait for adoption and then incorporate AGI into the end result. It is that meteoric. And this brings to the fore the highly contentious statement that there will be more Final Fantasy VII after Part 3. What that entails is not entirely clear, but Dirge of Cerberus and Before Crisis are hot ideas that fit the bill of everything Hamaguchi-san listed. New stories with different characters that many fans are looking forward to. As we have not even seen the first trailer of Part 3, and we have almost no idea of what encapsulates this coveted finale of the trilogy, of the anthology, including Reunion and Ever Crisis, of 30 years of wonder, genius, and emotion. We don't know, so what will follow Journey's End is anyone's guess. However, remember those 3 letters, AGI. Those letters are the single largest determining factor for what Journeys on Gaia will be like after Part 3. Think immersion to a depth where you begin to question what reality truly is. As so many scientists wonder, are we currently living in a simulation like the Matrix? And on Gaia, it takes a wormhole to get you into Matrix-like VR, meaning that it is mutually shared. It's not just something that you experience in your head. And it takes a wormhole to take you into a Matrix-like other dimension. So yes, the geniuses in Square Enix are intimately familiar with what AGI means. And perhaps a question to lighten this a little bit. After Part 3, who would you talk to on Gaia? Me? I'm gonna find Hojo, grab him, find Gilgamesh, drop Hojo off, slap a sword in his hand, and tell Gilgamesh he's the new sword master. And then just watch as that smug smirk gets wiped off Hojo's face as he listens to one of Gilgamesh's half-hour monologues. Just reward for 30 years of insanity. But that's me. Who would you talk to? Imagination adventurers. Until next time, I bid thee adieu.